Welcome to the Family First Retirement Podcast with George Politarhos. For more information, visit betrayawealth.com. Now, let's get to the show.
It's all right, George, right out of the gate, I've got a Mark Owens question for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess I could have just texted you this at any time because I'm always asking you questions about life and money and stuff like that. I figured I'd bring it to the radio show.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you.
What is the difference between a will and a trust?
There's a few big differences that you need to keep in mind. The one, when we sit and do wills and trust, Mark, it's really about setting up and taking a lot of placing your wealth to where you want it to go, when you want it to go, and how you want it to go, A. B, the other part of having this done is taking the choices or hard decisions away from your loved ones with a living will involved in there. For example, my father, Angelo, he had a massive heart attack in 1994, and he was dead. He died. He dropped dead in front of my brother, and he was dead. And where we were was an event where the paramedics were literally on top of him within moments. And they got his heart to come back up. They had his heart to start beating by help. Our father was no longer our father. He had machines on him, and it was hard to sit there and say, pull that plug, disconnect that breathing tube. The guilt that comes with this is horrendous. By having a will and trust set up, we can sit there and help take that decision process away from the loved ones. So you don't think about for 30 years, should I have let that stay longer? Would he have been able to make it further? Biggest thing right there. But also, you need a trust for real estate if you have a couple of properties, only because, think about this, you and Gretchen have your home, and you paid $200,000 for it. When you pass away, it's going to your daughter. And now the value of the home is $1 million. Well, without the trust in place, having that as a revocable living trust and having the home in the trust, your daughter has to take that cost of $200,000 and the value she got at $1 million, and she has to spread, and it's a tax obligation.
Okay.
When the trust takes over, guess what? She takes it $1 million. That's the new cost level. You give a step up. So that gets rid of that tax part of the problem for our children. A. B. A will is when you die. Right? When you die, a will kicks in.
Okay.
A trust is if you become incapacitated. The trust can manage everything and handle those decision-making processes for you.
Okay.
That's really the biggest difference. Most people need a will, real simple, but there are the situations when we have real property, houses, multiple houses, assets that are of value. You want the trust to be the beneficiary for that for tax purposes.
So you hear the phrase trust fund baby a lot. And when I hear that, I just think of a kid or, an adult that knows that they have a huge inheritance coming, or they know that at a certain point in their life, they're going to inherit that $1 million house or a ton of money left in an inheritance. Is that correct definition, or is there more to it?
Yep. Well, the trust, I can sit there and dictate life beyond me. I can set the money to be dispersed out of the trust for the rest of time for our children and beneficiaries. And it really protects the kids from themselves. I had many years ago, I had a job, and I was going for an interview. A really nice guy, got along really well, this man and I, and he had 3 children. And his father had died with a large sum of money. So he gave the boys inherited money from grandpa. And he just inherited it, just gave the money to the boys. And the one thing he told me was, that's the worst thing you could ever do, because my son is a lazy POS who doesn't care because he has this lump sum of money. He blows it. He does this. He does drugs. Everything possible you don't want for your children. Having a trust in place, I can dictate how that money is going to be dispersed to them.
Yeah.
Making sure they still have to be part of society and active. We can help you do that. That's a real simple process. We handle that in-house with our team. And it's, we talked about this before, for our Betraya Wealth family members, for a will and trust is going to be $2,000, which is a fantastic opportunity for you to get that lined up. Most wills and trusts are going to be substantially more, but for the Betraya Wealth family and our listening audience, we'll give you that price of $2,000 for a single deed and a will trust transfer to get put in place.
Which, to be honest, I think is more in depth and more detailed than like just doing something quickly online.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like going to McDonald's or going to Wawa. these places crack me up. It's kind of like when you do your taxes, TurboTax.
Yeah.
Nothing against TurboTax people. What are you doing? It's a fancy version of Wawa or McDonald's. You go in and they ask you questions. You just keep pushing the screen like this. They're not asking you the questions. It's order taking.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that stuff, whatever you're using online for the wills that you did when you had nothing, Mark, was that same principle. You got notarized by somebody. It's a piece of paper, kind of like XYZ. Thank you. My wife gets everything. I get everything of hers. And, you need to have it lined up correctly. You need to have it done the right way the first time, or you can change it. And also, talking about trust, you want to make sure that you have a revocable living trust, not a irrevocable living trust.
Educate me. What is that?
Sure. Irrevocable. Once you put something inside the trust, it can't come back out. You have to break the trust to get to it. A revocable living trust, I can put things in, I can take things out. It's more flexible for you to go forward.
And that goes back to the 20 years ago when I was putting my trust together. My kids, my grandkids were on the straight and narrow. Now they've kind of wandered off, and I'm worried about they won't be responsible enough to handle my inheritance. So that's why the revocable trust is so important.
Correct. And I can sit there and give them make sure they get a payment every month.
Yeah.
Every year. I can put stipends in there that if you're not part of working, for example, you don't get any, there's controls. I'm a control freak. I want to make sure that, when we die, I don't want my boys to be bums.
Right.
I know my boys aren't, but I want to make sure that they're set up correctly. Give us a call, 302-330-2166. Let's see if a will and trust works best for you and how we can help you get that. People think about this and think, I'll do it tomorrow. That ostrich, putting your head in the sand, I'll take care of it tomorrow. I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
Guess what, folks? We don't think about it, but unfortunately in today's world, it happens all the time.
So to recap it real quick, a will is for when you die. A trust is for while you're still living.
Correct. Incapacitated. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and same thing happened to when my father...
And they go together.
Okay. When my father got sick, is the same way. He went and amended. He had a revocable trust in the will. And when he got sick, he made it a point to say that, all right, listen, if this goes south, I don't want to be a vegetable. If I go brain dead, pull the plug. I'm not going to be a burden on my family when I'm not even awake. And again, not easy conversations, George, but I'm so thankful we had them.
Because you know what? You're not saying, Dad, I made a mistake. I'm sorry I pulled it too early.
Yeah.
Dad, what's going to come back? We always think we're going to rejuvenate. It's going to, miraculously, everything's going to fix itself. It's about making my loved ones. I don't want Alex and Jared to worry about that.
Yeah.
I want them to be, this Dad wanted to do.
Yeah.
And now he's happy. So,
and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think, the point we're trying to get across this weekend, 302-330-2166. Yeah, it's not fun to talk about, all right, what's going to happen when I die? Or, hey, am I going to be a burden on my family? But to have all of these little aspects, these little details put in place with a will, with a trust, with the help of the team at the Betrayal Wealth Group. 302-330-2166, betrayalwealth.com, PATRIA, wealth.com. And speaking of grandkids, well, you got a big weekend coming up soon. You were telling me off the air how excited you are.
Oh, my God. We get to see Archer every week. Never enough time. If I had my way, they'd be living with us. But Alex and Ada are celebrating their anniversary. They've been married 5 years. Oh, my God, 5 years they've been married. And they're going away to the mountains for a couple days. It just happens to be leaving Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They'll come home Sunday, and we're taking Archer. Well, Leslie is going away on Saturday to be with her sisters, like a sisters' weekend trip on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So Pop and Archer have Mimi on Friday night, overnight, but then it's him and me for Saturday, all day Saturday, and half is Sunday. This little boy is going to be so wired up with candy. And anything he says, like, okay, you want to build a fort? Okay. You want to buy a pony? Okay. Whatever he wants. I cannot wait. My daughter-in-law and son are in such a place, they don't know what's going to happen yet. He's going to have a tattoo on the side of his neck and everything else, whatever he wants.
He's going to have a tattoo, a taste for old fashions and a pony.
Oh, my, yeah.
Because
I can't wait.
Thank you for listening to the show. And if you've been listening to us or if you've ever met George, Anytime that I know George is down. So how's little Archie doing? Oh, my God. Let me tell you about this kid. Buddy, you're living the dream. And this is what you do every day for the families you serve.
Absolutely.
And you do
Nothing
this.
else matters to me.
We talk about spendophobia on this show a lot, the fear of spending money. You've spent your entire life working to get to the place where you want to be and where you need to be. And then you get there and you're like, well, you know what? I'm worried I'm going to run out of income in retirement. But that's what you do. You create these paychecks so that you can have that income in retirement, so that you can spoil the grandkids, George.
We literally just had an appointment the other day, and he's a retiring postal employee.
Mm-hmm.
We came down, he's with his daughter, and we're talking, and she said, I want him to be able to enjoy life. And that's what this is about. You got to set things up to enjoy what the next step is. We always say that, you work 90,000 hours, 30, 40 years you've been working. For what? To get to the point, well, you can't leave the house.
Yeah.
You can't do anything. Having that plan, having the understanding, having the income streams coming in is so important. When I worked with Doug, his daughter, after I showed what we were doing, they were so relieved. I said, now you get to do whatever the heck you want to. We replaced his pay stub. He's not losing any money in retirement. It's fantastic because he gets to do what he wants. And here's a gentleman still has a younger daughter. And we know, folks, we have younger teenage daughters. There's things that they need, especially girls. And he's able to do all that. They're not going to miss a beat. He's going to be able to enjoy the rest of his life. That's what this is about. But you don't do it by yourself. This is not a DIY because, everything on the internet must be true.
Right.
It's not that way. You need to come in, sit down, and have that approach. See where we're at, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. Right now, there's some fluctuation, some volatility in the world. Good way to put it, I guess,
fair.
right?
Yeah.
You need to sit there and be prepared for what goes on next.
Yeah.
You need to look at, I want you to be all the happy things in life. I want you to be saying we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and, the dandelions are going to jump up for us, and all the roads are going to fall. My job, and the team here at Betrayal Wealth's job, is look at the downside. Look at the bad things. Prepare for worst-case scenario, and be happily surprised when it's the way it's supposed to be, not the negative nillies that we're portraying. Because I want you to sit there and say, George, you told me I'd have $1 left over after everything's said and done, and I have $2. You are going to give me hugs and kisses, and I truly love hugs and kisses. If it's the other way around, I tell you you're going to have $2, you only have $1, you're not going to be real happy. So my job is to make sure that you are happy because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be in the right place. You deserve to have peace of mind and be able to move forward. Give us a call, 302-330-2166. Let's see how that's going to look for you. People always talk about the doing the will and trust, putting your head in the sand. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrows sometimes don't come, folks. You need to sit there today, and even if you dial the number and just lock it in and call back later.
Yep.
You need to take the first step in preparing yourself and, more importantly, your family for the next step in life, moving forward, enjoying retirement. 302-330-2166.
George Politarhos, it is back. Kind of feels like
hockey season.
Arena football's back. So, obviously, we've talked about it many times before. I'm here just north of Atlanta. I'm a Braves fan. You are a big Phillies fan. But being at the games opening weekend, it just felt like everything was right in the world again. Because the news is heavy and everything is just so in your face. But it's the one opportunity to get together, and everybody, black, white, young and old, everybody still had the same feeling. The other team, the visiting team, that's the enemy. You're not my enemy. The visiting team is my enemy right now. But it was really good to be back. It's fun.
That's nice. I know the Braves are happy you're back up there helping with the impersonality you are for the Braves.
It's fun.
And it's a tough life, Mark. It's a tough life.
Yeah,
have empathy.
Listen,
what are you going to do when the Phils win again this year?
The who?
Curious.
The what?
The Phils.
What are they?
The Fighting Phils.
Never heard of her.
People
so
that beat
with
you.
that,
Yeah.
no clue. I'm going to be eating crow in about 6 months on that little comment. See, again, that's one thing I love
Mark
about
that tape,
baseball.
please.
Save the date on this one. Well, speaking of baseball, it's interesting that America's pastime, George, is very similar to a strategy that can help improve your retirement. I want you to hear this clip from financial author Patrick Kelly, who talks about the singles and the doubles in retirement.
I think people feel like they need to hit home runs or grand slams to win this retirement game, and it's not true. All they need to do is hit singles and doubles over and over and over again, getting on base over and over and over again, and never taking a loss. I mean, think about it. We're using the baseball analogy a little further. If you could hit a single every single time and never strike out, you're going to win that game.
That's such a great analogy.
Yep.
Singles and doubles can win the game. So what does that look like in a retirement plan? Because we all think, oh, we want to invest in this and we want that stock to hit, but it's more than that. So talk to me about not necessarily going for the grand slam every time, but the singles and doubles in retirement.
It's being Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Mr. Consistency, getting the, what we'd say, 4,300 plus hits or something like that. Mm-hmm. He didn't hit a lot of home runs, maybe 100, 150, right? Yep. Was that it, Mark?
Yeah.
Something like that?
I'm going to look it up.
But he was consistent. He got the shots, hustled his butt, and never had a down time. What they're talking about is never sitting there going for the big swing, because everyone hears about Babe Ruth using that baseball mentality. Mm-hmm. Babe Ruth, we knew him to be what? Home run king, right? At the time, he was an all-time leading home run hitter. He was also the all-time leading strikeout leader. Struck out just as much as hit home runs, but you don't remember that. With retirement, you cannot afford big swings where you're hitting nothing but air. You need the consistency and the stability of those singles and doubles and the triple here and there. That's what the right retirement plan is. We're going to help you do that. We're going to help you get those singles and doubles and have that bang once in a while, right? Because in retirement, you need to have consistency because you're not working anymore.
Yeah.
You can't afford to have that strikeout. You cannot afford to have the markets go down drastically and have all your retirement money vested in the market. Right now, that's what people are doing. When you're working, you're invested in the stock market. So when it's up, you're happy. When it's down, you're not as upset. You're upset, but think about this, folks. You're working. When the market drops and you're still contributing to that 401k, that thrift savings plan, that 403b, you're still buying in, so now you have a cost average. You're cost averaging your positions. In retirement, you can't afford that because you're not putting money into it. You're not feeding the product. You have to be consistent and have safety. How I'm going to help you at Betrayal Wealth is we're going to have risk. You need risk. Let's be realistic. Call a spade a spade. You need risk in retirement, but proportionate to where you are in life. You also need safety. Mm-hmm. Safety is that security, having a new alarm system on your house, that if something goes bad, I'll never go backwards. I'll never lose. I'm going to gain 5-6%, and the market's going to gain 15%. But when the market's down 5-10%, I'm losing nothing. You're safe. And having the balanced portfolio, a retirement plan that makes sense for you and your family is so important.
Yeah.
At Betrayal Wealth, we're going to help you get that because it's something you've never been to before. You've never been to retirement. This is new for people when you get ready to retire. And that says 5 years before retirement, in retirement, and 5 years after retirement plus. You need to have a strategic plan that if the markets go backwards, I'm okay. If there's a downturn, I'm okay because you don't have a paycheck anymore. We have to replace that paycheck. How are we going to replace it? You're going to pull from a dropping investment? If you're all in the, let's think about this for a second, Mark. You have your retirement and your 401k, and you stayed in the market. And the market has been a 16-year bull run. It's running up that hill, looks great. It's never going to stop, right? Never going to stop. Be realistic. Yeah. It's going to stop. We don't know when the correction is going to occur, but there's going to be a correction. And when it happens, are you still going to pull money out of that account like you were? Probably not, because you can't afford to. Mm-hmm. Because when you pull money from a dropping investment, you're double dipping your loss. Having that annuity, I love fixed index annuities in this part. Having that fixed index annuity there gives you the platform and the safety that when the market's going up, great, we pull our income stream out of that rising investment. But when the market goes down, now I pull from my safe money because I'm not double dipping my loss. We do that every day at Betrayal Wealth. I'm here to help you do the same thing. Make sure you have that plan in place where when the things go good, we're all doing well. When the things go bad, I'm still okay. The question is not when the market's going to correct itself. Because if you ask me, George, when's it going to happen? I have no darn idea. But neither is anybody else. But it's going to happen. History tells me this. You need to be in a place where you're protected, insured, and secure with your investments and being able to sleep at night.
Insurance and annuities offered through George Politarhos, Delaware Insurance License Number 1373121. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties.